everyone, this is Mehjabin Fatima, a teacher and a high school lecturer at Elizabeth High School and Junior College. Today we are going to start 7th class syllabus of social studies. Let's start with our first lesson, that is reading maps of different kinds. The world we live is so full of variety: mountains, hills, sea coast, deserts, forests, snow covered regions. So the world in which we are staying, we know our environment is very much beautiful, that it is covered with mountains, hills, sea coast, deserts, forests, snow covered regions, etc. So we can say that our natural environment is very much beautiful. Why is here so much variations? So why do we have so much variations? Why don't we have only one particular thing? Why do we have different regions? So this is a question. How does this affect the lives of people who live in those parts? So in every different region there are different types of people as well. So how these people are staying in that regions, how they are surviving in those regions. So this is also a question. To study and understand these questions, we need to take the help of maps of different kinds. Some maps tell us about how high or low the places are. Some tell us about how much it rains there or how hot or cold it gets. Some tell us about crops that grow. There are the different kinds of forests that are found in those areas. By studying them, we can know many things about the world. So, to study about a particular region, we are having different kinds of maps. So, with the help of maps, we can understand the particular region, and each map differentiates different kinds of things that are available in the particular region. For example, some maps tell us about how high or low the places are, or some tell us about how much it rains and how hot or cold it gets. So each and every map, it shows different type of aspects. Now let's study about the maps. We can say that with the help of map, we can understand different region even by sitting at particular region. So for that, you need to bring copy of atlas and you can figure out different kinds of maps in there. There is an activity by which you can understand more about different regions in map. So you can bring the atlas at your home and you can figure out different kinds of maps in the atlas, so that you can know about the different places, what are the mountains, what are the hills, what are the plateaus, what are the plains. Everything you will come to know with the help of maps. How can we understand the maps? With the help of symbols. So symbols are the point line area. We use symbols to show physical objects on the map. You have seen some of them in class 6. So symbols are the point line of area which represents different objects in the map. If we are asked to show Delhi in the map of India, we will mark a point and label it as Delhi. To show the river Manjira, we draw a line along its course. For the railway line, we will draw a track line. So there are different kinds of symbols which are used to represent different kinds of objects. For example, here the symbol of a place is given, that is Delhi. For Delhi, this point symbol will be used for Delhi. And same like that, to represent river Manjira in map, we are using a blue color line to represent the river Manjira. And same like this, we are using track lines to represent the railway line. So, in Telangana maps, if we want to show the area of Medak to Hyderabad district, we demarcate its boundary and mark it with some color or pattern, which is known as real symbol. Thus, all physical objects are shown on the map with the help of a point, line or a area symbol. So, if you observe the Telangana map, you can see that the area of Medak to Hyderabad district, it's represented as boundary and it's marked with some color or pattern, so that by seeing the map, you can understand that it's a boundary or a area. It's a boundary or a area. And same like this, every physical objects are shown in the map with the help of different kinds of symbols. Physical maps. You will find some maps in your atlas called physical maps. In these maps, you will usually find different parts of the land colored in green, yellow or brown. Actually, they show the variety of landforms, mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. and depict the height of places. So, when you observe the atlas, you will find out some physical maps. They are one of the types of map which represents different parts of land colored in green, yellow and brown color. so that whenever you will see the picture, you can understand which one is land, which one is greenery, and which ones are mountains, etc. Actually, they show the variety of landforms. So these physical maps are specially showing us the variety of landforms, that are mountains, plateaus and plains, etc. And they depict the height of places. How can we represent the height of land on a flat paper? Of course, we can make a drawing like the one. So, how can we represent the height on the paper? We cannot represent the exact height on the flat paper, but instead we are using a drawing. So that we can understand that this particular place is of this height. So there is a rough diagram which I have drawn so that you can understand more clearly about physical maps. So as you can see that this is a picture and not a map. So this is kind of a picture, it's not a map. So whenever you will imagine a map, here the height of the hills hide what is behind them. A map should show all the places without hiding them. Can you think of a way in which we can draw a map of this place? So we can say that this is a picture, it's not a map. And in this picture, if you observe that the things which are heighted, they hide the different things which are behind them. So by seeing this picture, we cannot understand what is there at the back of these heighted places. But a map should show all the places without hiding them. A map, it will show everything without hiding every place without hiding anything. And can you think of a way in which we can draw a map of this place? And can you think of a way by which we can represent this picture with the help of a map? Let's see, measuring heights on land. All heights on the land are calculated from the sea level. Since all the seas in the world are commented to each other, the sea level, the top surface all over the world is taken to the roughly the same. Look at the picture of Nimbur village given to understand the idea. So, how do we measure the height on land? So, for that we are using the sea level. Sea level will be at 0 meters. So, with the help of this picture you can understand how we are representing the height on the flat paper. Showing heights on a map. So, can you see that the map shows 3 height zones. Firstly, areas which are between 0 meters to 50 meters of height. So, you can see in this picture that this picture represents 3 different height zones, and when you see this, the sea level will be at 0 meters, and the area between this sea level and this 50 meters is this area. You can see the height of these areas which are between 51 meters and 100 meters, and then finally areas which are between 101 meters to 150 meters, by which you can understand more about height by this picture. So when you see this picture, you can understand that sea level will be at 0 meters, and from 1 meter to 50 meters we are having this village. So this is the first zone, and from 50 meters to 100 meters we are having a temple. This is the second zone by which we are representing the height, and from 100 meters to 150 meters there is a mountain. So these 3 different zones are representing the different aspects by which you can understand more about the height of a particular object. Thus, any place which falls in the height zone, that is 51 to 100 meters, will have the height of above 50 meters, but below 100 meters height is shown in different shades of color. So the thing whichever is having the height above the 51 meters, which it will come under this zone, and the things which are having height above the 100 meters will come under this zone. So I hope you understood the concept how the heights are represented by using the maps. Let's see about contour lines. A contour is a line joining places with equal heights on the maps. On the map of Nimbur, you would have seen a line passing through the village. This is the 50 meters contour line. So these lines which are representing the meters, we can say that these lines are called as contour lines. These lines cannot cut with each other. The distance between 2 contour lines will depend upon the landscape. If the land has a steep climb, then the contour lines will be near each other. If the slope of the land is gentle, then the contour lines will be quite far from each other. So when you observe this contour line, it is representing the height of the particular object, and whichever the object is, that object will have irregular shape depending upon the landform, and these contour lines and by depending upon the object we can represent this contour lines, like the gap between 50 meters to 100 meters will be represented with the help of this contour line. And if the land has a steep climb, then the contour lines will be near to each other, and if the slope of the land is gentle, then the contour lines will be quite far from each other. Let's see what are the uses of maps which are showing heights. These maps helps us to understand the nature of the terrain, where the mountains are, where the valleys are, etc. If you look at the physical map of Telangana, you can identify the Godavari slopes in the eastern part. If you travel westwards from the slopes, you will reach the hills in the plateau region. So these maps helps us to understand about the nature of the terrain, where the valleys are, etc. And whenever you are looking at the Telangana map, you can identify that Godavari slopes are in the eastern part, and if you travel westwards from the slopes, you will reach the hills in the plateau region. The plateau region itself is cut by many rivers like the Krishna and the Godavari, which form deep and broad valleys in them. So this plateau region, it cuts itself by many rivers like the Krishna river and the Godavari river, which form deep and broad valleys in them. If we have to lay roads in an undulating region between two places, such maps helps us in deciding the route to be taken by this road. Similarly, when dams are planned, it is necessary to know how much land will be submerged by the water of the dam. So not only for understanding the concept about the particular region, maps are also essential when the roads or dams are to be constructed. So with the help of maps, we can roughly lay roads in an undulating region between two places, and maps also helps us to decide which route to be taken. And similarly like that, whenever the dams are planned, it is necessary to know how much land it will be submerged by the water of the dam. So this was all about our first chapter, that is reading maps of different kinds. I hope you understood this chapter very well. It was very interesting chapter, and to make it more interesting, you can bring the atlas and you can observe the objects which are represented in those maps. And for now, this is end of our class, and we will continue our next class with next lesson. Thank you.